What Musashi understood about focus. There is a reason so many people feel stuck, not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack potential, but because they cannot hold their attention on one thing long enough to master it. Their minds are scattered, pulled in 100 directions, a notification, a message, a headline, a new goal, a new distraction. Every day, their attention is divided into smaller and smaller pieces, and what remains is never enough to create something extraordinary. More than 400 years ago, a man understood this problem long before the modern world existed. His name was Miyamoto Musashi, a swordsman, a strategist, a philosopher, and perhaps one of the most focused human beings who ever lived. Musashi was born in Japan during a time of chaos. The nation was fractured by war. Clans fought for power. Battles determined the fate of entire regions. It was a world where weakness carried consequences, where hesitation could cost a life. By the age of 13, Musashi fought and won his first duel. Over the course of his life, he would fight more than 60 duels. He never lost, not once, but his greatest weapon was not his sword. It was his ability to focus completely on what mattered. While others chased status, Musashi chased mastery. While others sought comfort, Musashi sought improvement. And while others divided their attention, Musashi concentrated it, relentlessly, for decades. The result was a level of skill that made him legendary. One of the most famous moments in Musashi's life took place on a small island in 1612. There, he would face Sasaki Kojiro, a renowned swordsman, a man feared throughout Japan. The duel would become legendary, but not because of what happened during the fight, because of what happened before it. Musashi arrived late, deliberately. As Kojiro waited beneath the sun, frustration began to grow. Minutes passed, then more. The longer Musashi delayed, the more his opponent's emotions took control. By the time Musashi finally arrived, the battle had already begun inside Kojiro's mind. According to legend, Musashi carved a wooden sword from an oar during the journey to the island. A simple weapon, crude, unremarkable, yet it was enough, not because the weapon was superior, but because Musashi understood that victory begins long before action. It begins with attention. While Kojiro focused on anger, Musashi focused on purpose. While one man surrendered control of his mind, the other maintained it. And in a matter of moments, the duel was over. This was not luck. It was the result of a lifetime spent mastering attention. In his later years, Musashi withdrew from society and spent long periods in solitude. There, in a cave called Reigando, he wrote a book that would survive centuries. The Book of Five Rings. Many people read it as a manual on combat, but beneath the lessons on strategy lies something deeper. A philosophy of attention, a philosophy of focus. Musashi believed true power came from concentration, from directing your energy toward a single objective. Imagine sunlight. Spread across a field, it provides warmth. But focus that same sunlight through a magnifying glass, and it can ignite fire. The energy did not change, only the direction. Human attention works the same way. When your focus is scattered, your progress becomes scattered. When your focus is concentrated, remarkable things become possible. For years, Musashi wandered Japan, not as a conqueror, but as a student, learning, observing, practicing, refining. While others searched for shortcuts, Musashi embraced repetition. While others sought recognition, Musashi pursued mastery. He knew that greatness is rarely built through dramatic moments. It is built through thousands of quiet decisions made correctly, again and again. Most people abandon the path before mastery has time to emerge. Their attention shifts, their commitment fades, and progress disappears with it. Musashi's life suggests a different path. Choose carefully, commit fully, and remain long enough for excellence to appear. Today, this lesson is more important than ever, because we live in a world designed to steal attention. Every platform wants your eyes. Every notification demands a response. Every algorithm competes for a piece of your mind. Never before in history have so many people had access to so much information. And yet never before have so many struggled to focus. Musashi would have recognized the danger immediately, because he understood something that modern society often forgets. Attention is your life. Whatever receives your attention receives your future. If you spend years distracted, your future becomes distraction. If you spend years focused, your future becomes mastery. The direction of your attention becomes the direction of your life. Musashi understood something most people overlook. Mastery often comes through subtraction, not adding more, but removing what distracts you from what matters. There is another lesson hidden within Musashi's life, one that many people resist: solitude. Throughout history, periods of isolation have shaped some of humanity's greatest minds, not because isolation itself creates greatness, but because it creates clarity. Musashi spent long periods alone, away from noise, away from opinions, away from distraction, and in that silence, he sharpened his thinking. Today, many people fear being alone with their thoughts. The moment boredom appears, they reach for a screen. The moment silence arrives, they seek entertainment. Yet silence is often where understanding begins. Because when the noise disappears, you finally hear yourself. You discover what matters, what doesn't, what deserves your attention, and what does not. Every day, your attention is shaping your future. The most focused people understand this. They do not merely protect their time. They protect what receives their attention. Most people will never fight a duel. Most people will never stand on a battlefield. But every one of us faces a different kind of battle. A battle against distraction. A battle against comfort. A battle for control of our own attention. And perhaps Musashi's greatest lesson is this: you do not need more information. You do not need more motivation. You do not need another plan. You need a direction, a purpose worth pursuing, and the discipline to return your attention to it every single day. Because focus is not a talent. It is not a gift. It is a choice repeated daily. And those who learn to make that choice consistently become capable of extraordinary things. The sword that made Musashi legendary was never forged from steel alone. It was forged through discipline, sharpened by solitude, and guided by unwavering focus. That weapon remains available to all of us. The question is whether we are willing to wield it